Okay, here we have a replay, 2007, probably about June or July, so it's on the 3.0 Malo patch. So I am playing Norway myself here, and let's see, we have Napoleon as Germany, Hong as Italy, and Defeat as Spain, and then in the background we have Soezy, or otherwise known as Slaughter, as France, myself, RavExel as Norway, Gunner as Germany, I mean as Russia, and Goliath as Spain. UK. So lifting buildings right away. Russia grouping for an attack. Spain sending up. Buildings being lifted. Oh, look at Hong, naughty naughty Hong, going up north with his BCs. Got the one SCV, he's probably going to get the other one. And here, going ahead and targeting the barracks. Probably going to be getting all three buildings here. I'm more focused on making sure to get all the buildings, but there you go. Kill two SCVs, three buildings up in the north, and I'm going to most certainly have to retreat from this Finland trigger. So, Hongin uses some early APMs there to make sure that I go off to a slow start, and I already lose my start port. Egypt did a good job, UK being able to push the first line of bunkers, even before. Alright, see you later, Chris. Chris was listening in, he's gonna take off. BC's going in, nice tight formation. Nap is going right down the middle with tanks and marines underneath him. Messers at the ready, they're going to hold position, now they're attack moving. Probably should back them up before they take too much damage. BC's getting all kinds of damage from range, what you want to have happen. We focusing a little bit up. Nope, they're going to pull back. No, what are they doing, Nap? Oh, you're going to pull back. Alright, and so tanks are going to finish this off. And now the big Russian attack going forward. Hong trying to lure down to the southern bunkers. Already massive push through the east. Looks like, what do we got? Gunner went ahead, got the physics bay. Gonna go ahead and get the fueling bay. Germany was able to get 3 of the scouts out and all kinds of buildings destroyed. Hong is gonna get the flanking position onto this army, but not before it's way too late. And you have Corrigan, you have the addition for the starport on, you have the science facility as well as the physics bay, all gone. So great first attack by Gunner, and here we have Hong trying to counterattack a little bit with the tanks, but not quite big enough Kerrigans to be able to defend against any sort of air attack, and they fall back, not losing too much. Spain has got buildings pumping down here in Africa and moving around some buildings, so he's lifted mostly out of Spain and is focusing down into Africa. We have UK must have dropped here and used his Goliath from over here to take out the bunkers, and now the Marines were able to take out the 4 Goliaths that would have been dropped, but knocks out a lot of the defensive positions in Africa. But here, command center is going to be taken out. BCs look like they're about open. They're going to get some pot shots on one. Let's see if they get the back one. They got one. They're not going to get greedy and go for another one. Good job, Goliath. He's able to pick off a BC before he's getting there in position. And look at all these Axis tanks. Look at all the tanks that are left from this France attack. Germany, all kinds of long-range ground attack, forming a massive wall alongside Italy with BCs in the middle, double scouts. You got Spain in there. Now with the air from Italy, the 3 countries working in tandem to face off against this allied horde. There we have France coming in with the Messers, other air coming in, Northern Air Force along with the RAF going in, able to take that out. And congratulations all around by Gunner. And BCs were able to be kept alive. Still lots of tanks available for the Axis, but good penetration by the Allies. Got all the way to Western Germany. Take a look what's going on in Africa. So unusually, Spain's going Africa right off the bat. So he's put 1 barracks here, 1 barracks here. So he can do that because it must have been communicated, or he saw that Norway lost his starport. Not only that, but his factory as well. So there's going to be no drop from Norway in the near future. So that's why he can go ahead and not leave anything. See, one Marine, no Marines. There, he's just unloading. He just unloaded all his bunkers right here. And very unusually making the turret defenses. So you don't see this play very often just because they're static. You can't move them. You'd rather have full of Marines here. The only reason to build these is if you think you're going to be a little bit late and you're not going to be able to stack this. You bring a single SCV and maybe make one, but there's rarely any need to make two. Early Egypt action. You don't often see this many Axis troops massing because normally Spain has different priorities. Normally he's going for an early drop. He's going UK. He's more worried about a drop from Norway and protecting his homeland here. But here, because that threat is eliminated, able to go Egypt, and UK very smartly building SCVs to defend these bunkers. If this goes down, then they're going to be in a lot of trouble. It's going to be very easy for the Axis to get into that swells area. Med is going to be any time now. Because I'm on my big screen TV, I don't get the full picture. I only get about 90%, so I don't get to see the timers or who has the kills or anything like that. And as well as the attack defenses are not there. But I'll try to cast them out as I see them. No upgrades for Italy. No upgrades for Germany. +2/+2 for Russia. And we have 3 attack and no defense for the Allied UK Air Force. So Denmark's been cleared. A single ghost sent up to clear this bunker. You have just enough range if you bring it right here, and it's normally a nice building to take down because when you do start to poke here with the Axis air. Hey, look at this. We have Spain sending in a couple of tanks to clear out these bunkers. This is a great strategy that a couple of Spain's and sometimes Italy's do, and that's just to clear this out. He knew exactly when the timer was. This is defeat, I believe, yeah. And now the drop is going to come along, and only one mine to help take it out. So let's see what happens. Because this was loaded for Marines. Get some great damage onto the raft. That's a larger amount of air than you want to be losing in this scenario. But very heads-up play by defeat in Spain and knocking out the defenses before they can be refilled. And Norway pretty fortunate to have this bunker loaded. Not always the case. Oh, there's Gunner going right down the middle. Tank's a little bit up high. Got this four bunker wall up here. Great enveloping by the Axis. EC's going right in the middle. This is probably the African troops that were pulled. Gonna probably want to drop them under the BCs. BC's being very careful when to engage. They're probably gonna wait for around this bunker. Top line of bunkers, providing enough defense. Let's see how many the Allies get. Hot shots onto the Germany. One BC destroyed, a couple heavily damaged. So the answer was they got 3 out of these 4 top bunkers, and all of the other bunkers except for this middle one over here in the Rhineland, probably between Germany and Austria. So USA getting called. Ireland getting poked out. There's a Canada drop. So this is what Spain is doing. Going ahead, dropping, and that is most certainly going to get the physics base. That's going to prevent UK from building any BCs for quite a while, but not wanting to lose that, going up and setting the RAF, and pretty heads-up play. Without the RAF there, those two cities and that very important physics facility would have been taken. So that is not a bad play by Defeat. It was just a very heads-up play. I guess I saw somewhere as Norway called it out, and Goliath was able to respond quickly. But here we have in Egypt combination effort being able done by Spain, and has gone ahead and put a bunk by Cairo. And see if we can go ahead and get attacks from this. Normally the heavy mechanized troops of France are able to bust up any bunker line. So yes, taking Egypt puts the Allies on a defensive front and makes them having to focus down into the African corridor. It's often not wise to build bunkers in this area just because France is always getting tanks triggers. France has the 2 BCs that he gets as a trigger. And it's really a very difficult position to defend. But as you can see, it is a little bit of a choke point. So if you have maybe a bunker or two and a full barrage of Marines around this side, then you might be able to defend it for a couple of turns, but rarely any more than that. This should be enough to take this out. Getting very low health, 82 health. He got 7 kills, and his compatriot also has 7. UK going. Good air trade. Fair on both sides. Norway having spider mined the London drop, so this should take out most of the ground forces, not giving the Axis too much of an advantage when it comes to fighting with the BCs. And also having troops in the area able to take out this drop. So Norway, with only having 1 drop, able to have some sort of UK defense. I have watched this replay once before, and I do remember the game. And yeah, so this is one of my highlights here. There are only few and far between when you have your first 3 buildings and Finland taken against you. It's a hard road back as Norway. So Allies being able to clear Africa, very important for them to get this tax. There's France knowing that, going ahead and trying to clear that before the end of the turn. Italy was a little bit aggressive and went ahead and took out the building close to here. This is also free, so Russia taxing slightly less. For these 2 cities here, very important that you actually land a building, either one building right in between here or you build a building here, but floated buildings do not count for this these 2 Polish cities, so very important. You always got to land. It's just one of those few tips and tricks that you need to learn about Allied Final if you want to play. Well, I mean, you can play without knowing them. It just helps to know them, especially in the Italy-Russian war that you have. And these cities are probably the most contested, and this one, the next one. So, big fight over Ireland. Defeat holding behind these missile turrets. A couple of dropped Marines by UK, but not enough to take out Spain here. Norway dropping vultures, so with this it might be enough. Come on, vulture, hit a person. My bad, put microing it. 'Tis a crime not to micro. 'Tis a crime indeed. And meanwhile, while I talk about micro, here we have some macro with Germany moving all the way across the map to try to take a money lead on the Axis, on the Allies. So here we have Germany with a group and a half of scouts going down towards the Middle Eastern region. This is a full contingent of drops with tanks going ahead and dropped by Italy, going out to the Middle East region. This is make it or break it. If they're able to bust open this position and take the wells, it very well could be lights out for the Allies. These wells are each worth 1,000 crystal each. Losing both of them is catastrophic for the Allies' cause often. And here, in conjunction with the Messers, able to take out a very superior Allies force, and UK going ahead and running back, not wanting to engage. PCs are back here. They're not going to be taking these wells anytime soon, but could look to take out these barracks and the CC by France. But with Germany running away, tanks being left undefended, and France is going to clean up these kills. Meanwhile, we have an attack going through bulks. BC is going up. No message to protect. RAF diving in. They get one. They damage another. Looks like they're switching over to Italy. Let's see where they're going to switch up. Yep, going up to the top flank. Not as many Skies protecting those. Goes ahead and gets one. Not going in for the second as the messengers come in to get in. Okay, we have RAF retreating with the tanks. Trigger up. Italy on hot pursuit. Going to get these tanks. Want to get as much damage and destruction as possible. Spain going in with the drops, but not able to get the flank with the drops. Not able to drop onto those tanks just because of that RAF control. Axis had to have the messengers going on with the drops there to be able to take out all those retreating Russian tanks. But on the flip side, we have Spain ready to go and drop, ready to be aggressive. He does not have these filled, but has these mostly filled. Looks like he's going for UK, and this is a good turnaround. After stuffing this attack, they're going right on the offense. It's just something you got to do as Axis. I know I talk about it frequently, but you can't just sit around. You get a little sort of advantage as Axis. You have one less player. You have to take advantage. Yes, Norway is not doing that well. He got screwed over by Italy at the beginning, but there with 3 bunkers and 2 missile turrets, let's see if they can take this out. Group and a half of Messers in with the BCs and with dropships. Dropships looks like they're going out towards USA. I just called out as Norway that D-Day is getting threatened, and RAF over here in Scotland moving out towards USA. Drops are being taken fairly good care of, but it just seems a little bit too much for the Allies to be able to defend. That is okay. D-Day just happened. We have the ground going in. UK not pulling the fleet back, going down to clear out the D-Day men, and Germany going down with his army. UK doing a good job clearing out the AWOL. Looks like you'll be able to be a little more free with your BCs when they come in. BC should be coming down and using these Marines as cover. You don't necessarily want to engage all of their troops at once, but if you have just the Allied Axis ground, there you go. He's going ahead and flanking from the top. UK BCs going ahead and getting that flank, and a whole bunch of Marines and tanks have gone the way of the dodo. They are extinct, no longer to be built, no longer to be seen. But reinforcements coming in from Spain. Probably doesn't see that the Axis BCs are there in conjunction with him. Just wanted to give a little ground cover, and is going to go ahead and lose these men. That's about 2 groups, and just a little unfortunate for him. And Goliath says, "Feed me." Whoa, look at that. USA being taken, but it was just a little bit too late for the trigger to be stopped. The Allies do have a hope here, even with a lot of pressure down in Africa. Defeat just putting all kinds of resources into Africa, making sure that they never get Algiers. The furthest they've gone was to the factory and never more. Air going ahead and clearing out UK. BC's running away. They do not want to get this fight. Just going to go ahead and lock up that engineering workshop. And let's see what the upgrades are. And they have a full 3-3, 3 attack, 3 defense upgrades, which at this point in the game, you know, a turn past D-Day, you really should be having. Russia's taking that cue to go in. Let's see what his upgrades are looking like. No upgrades as Russia on the tanks. So Gunner just doing a ground upgrade strategy. Going ahead and choosing his targets with his tanks. Wants to go ahead and clear a path as much as he can. Probably can get up to this line, and then it would probably be advisable to retreat because you do not want to get these tanks caught in with this air. Carriers are out, interceptors are going. 1 tank destroyed. There's the second. Looks like he's targeting these. Marines looking to cover. RAF looking to cover the tanks. Tanks need to get out of here. You need Marines to be going against BCs. You can't have BCs against tanks. Gunner a little bit too much. RAF going ahead, trying to block for the tanks, but not wanting to get into a full-on air battle. Going to go ahead and retreat, and Gunner losing about half his tanks in that engagement. And troops going ahead and pushing deep into Axis territory. But with air advantage, Axis looks pretty good at this point. They have Algiers held. They control UK, Canada, and Ireland and USA, all the while having an air advantage. Yes, UK has BCs, as we can see here. Yes, they are 3-3. Let's take a look at the German. Germans 3-3 as well. So Axis have the advantage on air and as per tax. So allies are hard pressed. And without Norway having drop ships, you can't really take UK back efficiently. And with France going heavy into Africa, there's not a lot you can do as well. There has to be another front opened up. And here Goliath calling east. Feels like it's the only way to win is to have a full 4-man east with the remaining UK BCs. And hopefully that'll be enough to take out the Axis ground and be able to surround the carriers and BCs that the Axis have. Carriers going down. Carriers are great to go down into Africa because they move so quickly. So you can move them down here quickly, attack a bunch of troops. You're able to stay off of the sea here with the Marines only able to attack your interceptors, and you get a lot of value for that. But predicting the air being down here, Russia coming up, he sees the BCs, he's going up for them, he hits the scout. He's not going for the scout, he's going for the carriers. He's going ahead and targeting the lead carrier. He gets one, and he's going to go ahead and target the second one. He's targeting the back one, he's covering up the retreat. They see, does he go for the BCs or the carrier? He's decided to go for the carriers. He wants all four. He goes ahead and gets the third, and he's getting with the fourth. Does he get him? He's underneath the Marines and the turrets, and with all the air. Russia able to take out 2 BCs, 4 carriers, and a couple of scouts. What a trade. Even though he lost his whole scout fleet, able to take out the ever important, probably the most important units in the game, which is the Italian carriers, and basically evening up the air game. So the air game is roughly even. Both Spain and Italy have dropships, very mobile, and Spain is out east, still with the 2-2. So he hasn't gone upgrades just as of yet. Spain pressing into Middle East. He went ahead and dropped these troops. Let's head back here. Spain is either deciding to go Middle East or he's going to go, well, he's going to go one or the other. Doesn't look like he has enough here. A lot of tanks, not many Marines, and just a little bit too much allied air for this to be worth it. Raf, you're probably okay to go in now. There he goes. Goes ahead, cleans that up. And France is going to mop up the rest of these troops. So let's see if he gets the tax. Spain building supply depots, trying to load up on the tax. We have Germany going ahead and building the core. There's the fueling bay, where you're going to get your 4 messers at every turn. And there you go, just in time, perfect timing. Italy would have liked to have done this 30 seconds to 45 seconds earlier. Go ahead and put some pressure. But Germany did get Oslo here, as you saw with the scouts moving out. So Gunner calling 200, that's the cue to go. With Italy going Norway, it looks like the Allies are going to try to hit east hard while the Axis does damage in Norway. So it looks like it's going to be an all-in east. France still in Africa, not providing any support yet in the east. And we're going to have to see if the combined air of UK and ground of Russia and Norway is going to be enough to take out all 3 Axis. Because here we have about 3 groups of Spanish Marines. You get rid of these guys yet? Still no. Just making lots of them and saying you don't need those better guns, you don't need those that better armor. World War II, they don't even know about armor. But they do know about throwing massive waves. Here we are, we're going to go ahead and get a larger view. Axis going ahead and stacking behind the bunker wall. You got 5 bunkers up north into the Berlin, into the northern region. BC is going up under it. Whole positions are down for the Messerschmitts. They don't want to go deep into this group of Allied Marines. RAF looking for any sort of open pot shots. BCs are flanking south from the UK. Open BCs. Let's see if the RAF gets it. 2 BCs down, and a great trade for Goliath. Let's see if he can get up into hold position front with this German air. He does not. He looks like he's in trouble now. France is going to have to help. Allied air. They have an advantage here. It looks like they're holding position. They're getting great shots on. BC's counts are down. There's only about 5 or 6 left for the Axis. Let's see if we can get closer to the action. Spain coming in. They're throwing everything at this fight. This is do or die. Let's see if they're going to be able to get it. This air fight decides everything. Axis, dive it in. Oh, whoa, he just going in. And Goliath picking up the rest of the Messerschmitts. How many BCs are going to be left? 3 BCs are going to be left, along with 3 Messerschmitts. Not a whole lot, but here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 BCs of the Allies versus the 3, and then there should be, oh, there's 2 here. So it's a perfect 5-on-5 contest, but I'm sure these Allied BCs are hurt a lot more. Yeah, they are. 1 damage for the for Germany, and 2 that are pretty full health. Germany trying to collect this taxing these cities. That is pretty hard. I'm calling that I'm fairly finished. I'm sure there's a SCV. Let's see what else did I get out. I got a probe, another SCV, and there's my command center. So, but Axis looks like they want to have a pressure in the north. I'm fairly done. No barracks, no troops at all. Very smartly. If you're going ahead and trying to take a lot of cities quickly, bringing a scout when that time of the game comes, and Italy as a very heads-up play, taking the industry as well as the capital cities, with most of the other ones with the probe. So let's see if he gets attacks here, but at least switching over the industry, you're making sure that UK is not getting these ever-important land leases over in this area right here. So when Italy controls an industry, you get the occasional groups of air, sometimes 1 BC and 12 air, sometimes just 12 air, but they're very important to combat the leases that Germany gets in this area right here, where they often get 12 air and 24 ground troops. So Russia wanting to retake Norway, the German versus Russian battle just north of Finland, down into northern Norway. Russia bringing tanks, and there's a little bit of indecision with the Allies about whether to retake Norway or to attack en masse. So gunners calling for help in Norway, and it says pretty much Slaughter, and yeah, Slaughter is saying that he's in a lot of trouble because I think he knows that there's a mass of troops coming. He does. He sent it all to the east. He's got 1 bunker. 2 bunkers filled. He should be lifting these buildings, lifting all these buildings up into this area right here. But it looks like it's all or nothing. Axis going ahead and taking the advantage, going ahead trying to attack. This is a very curious move considering that they have their air in the north and as well as a whole lot of ground troops here in the north. Italy dropping into northern Norway, putting a big time flank onto the Allies. Meanwhile, Italy able to knock out most of Norway and France's ground troops. Meanwhile, Italy should retreat its tanks. If not, it's going to be in for a rude surprise against all this air. A couple of fleeting Yamatos weakening these tanks. Those are 3 tanks at red, 2 at yellow, another one at red, 4 tanks at red. And the game is over, and the Allies have given up, mostly due to this northern push, as well as defeat putting incredible pressure onto Africa and eventually getting the Middle East here, which would have been Wells for sure, as well as pressure into Russia. And this all started from Norway taking his race and coming up to stop the Norway trigger. So killed both SCVs as well as 3 buildings, not able to stop this trigger, and Norway stumped it from the start, deciding not to build the factory and then starport needed to get drops again, and Spain being able to react in kind, putting all kinds of pressure into Africa, and eventually being able to push France out of the Middle East. But great game, and a little bit unusual to cast because I'm casting from my TV. I don't have my monitor, so I can't go in full screen, but I hope you enjoyed it anyways. Just a random cast that I'm doing from a replay from a few months ago, June, July 2017. You know the players, and yeah, just an interesting game. So RavExel, hope you enjoy it. Take care.